Peace and blessings, y'all. Ramadan Mubarak. Happy, happy, happy Ramadan. Happy, happy, happy Ramadan. Hey, hey, hey. So, y'all, it is the first day of Ramadan. And for anyone who might be a little bit confused about why Muslims are saying this is the first day of a month and we are at the beginning of May, let me explain, right? So Muslim holidays and celebrations and prayers and sunrise and all of that stuff is based off of the moon, and that is the lunar calendar, versus like right now we're in the beginning of May as well. That's based off of the Gregorian calendar, which is dictated by the sun. So Islamically speaking, and within the lunar calendar, this is the first day of the month of Ramadan, which coincides to, what is today, May 6th or something like that. If I'm wrong, I'll just paste it in the video. It's May 6th, 7th, one of those days. I think it's May 6th. So yeah, so I hope that clarifies that up for anyone who is confused about why Muslims are saying this is the first day of a month, because it is. It's the first day of Ramadan based on the lunar calendar. So I wanted to very briefly, I'm not going to be long-winded, I promise. I wanted to very briefly speak on peace, right? And obtaining peace, having peace within us and around us. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do we get that? How do we obtain this very, very attractive thing called peace? And better yet, once we obtain it, how do we hold on to it? How do we protect it, right? So I feel that it all boils down to being a choice, right? We choose our peace. We choose whether or not we're gonna fight these day-to-day battles that surface within our lives, right? For example, we don't always have to prove someone wrong. We don't always have to prove that we're right. That in and of itself is a battle, right? Can turn into a crazy argument. You getting upset, the other person getting upset. If it's a group of people, everybody's all upset. Nobody's peaceful. So that is a choice. We don't always have to fight. We don't always have to overexert ourselves. We don't always have to grunt or be gritty or grimy. We don't always have to do that. Sometimes it's easier and more beautiful and more smooth to just walk away and say okay, or just smile and agree to disagree. So peace, in my humble opinion, is a choice. We don't have to, for example, return badness or negativity or evilness with badness, negativity, or evilness. We can decide whether or not we're going to be recyclers of energy and take negativity and give off goodness, or if we're going to fuel the fire and take negativity and say, oh, well, she said this to me, so I'm going to do this to her. And no, it's not necessary. Because maybe in that moment, that makes you feel all big and bad, and you can huff and puff and blow somebody's house down like you're the big bad wolf. But in the end, what have you gained? You haven't gained anything at all. Indeed, you've lost. You've lost a piece or pieces of your peace, and it's not worth it. So I feel that the constant choice of not engaging in these day-to-day battles or little fires that just, surface throughout our day-to-day lives, not engaging in those and becoming comfortable with the habit of not engaging in those can lead to a more peaceful path, and inshallah, God willing, overall a more peaceful life. But it's something that I feel has to be done consistently. I have not yet mastered it. I am working on it. But when I do, I feel like there's like days or maybe even spans of days where I do really, really great. But then there's times where somebody might say something or do something and woo! It's like, hold on, I let that go. I can't let that go. I have to say something. I have to say something. But eventually I want to get to the point to where I decide based off of logic and not based off of emotions, right? Because a lot of times when we allow our emotions to rule us, our emotions can knock us off our path of peace. But if we can kind of put those emotions in a box and just close it temporarily and think logically, which usually happens after the fact, then we realize, hey, this is not even worth my energy. That person is not worth my energy. This thing is not worth my energy. And that situation is not worth my energy. And y'all, it's so freeing when you sit with yourself and you actually decide, am I gonna go off or am I gonna stay cool and walk away, right? It is so freeing. It's so freeing when you do not let another thing, situation, or person control your emotions, your reactions, and your responses. So I feel that done consistently, inshallah, God willing, can lead to peace. And I want to leave you with this page. I'm on page 374. I hope this is not so backwards, but you know, a lot of times the videos do like a mirror image, so that you might not see that. But I'm reading from the Ideal Muslimah. And this excerpt, Muslimah is a term that means Muslim woman. Whenever there's an Arabic word that has the or AH at the end, it makes it feminine. But this is, I feel this message here can be applied overall. It's not just for women. And also, quick note, there's also a book called The Ideal Muslim, which is more geared toward men. So both very, very good books. So page 374, right? She is gentle and kind towards people. It is in the nature of women to be gentle and kind, which is more befitting to them. This is why women are known as the quote-unquote fairer sex. Now that, I feel like that sentence in and of itself can be a whole video. So I'm not saying that this is anything that's set in stone or concrete, or that I 100% believe or wouldn't ever want to tweak. I just feel that the overall message here is very, very nice. So continuing, the Muslim woman who has truly been guided by Islam is even more kind and gentle towards the women around her, because gentleness and kindness are characteristics which Allah the Exalted loves in His believing servants, and which make the one who possesses them dear to others. So that's the part that really stood out to me, because like I said, I feel like this is applicable to everyone, not just women. So I'm going to read that excerpt one more time. Because gentleness and kindness are characteristics which Allah the Exalted loves in His believing servants, and which make the one who possesses them dear to others, right? And then it goes on into an excerpt from the Qur'an, and this is Qur'an chapter 41, verses 34 through 35. Nor can goodness and evil be equal. Repel evil with what is better. Then will he between whom and you was hatred become as it were your friend and intimate. And no one will be granted such goodness except those who exercise patience and self-restraint. None but persons of the greatest good fortune. Patience and self-restraint, y'all. Right? So I was thinking about the message that I wanted to share today, which was about like peace and choosing peace. And I picked up this book after the fact, and I was just flipping through, because I don't know, I just like to read to y'all sometimes. And I was like, okay, what can I find in here that's applicable to the message that I want to share? So I found that, and I was like, yes, it fits. So especially the Quran verse, right? Quran 41, about exercising patience and self-restraint. I feel like those two things, amongst others, but these two are so important, y'all, in obtaining peace. If I am glowy, it's not because I'm trying to be, it's because I'm hot right now. So as soon as I turn this camera off, I'm snatching this off my head. Back to the topic at hand. Patience and self-restraint, right? Self-restraint. That's what I'm talking about when I say deciding, right? Decide on peace. Decide not to battle. Decide sometimes not to respond. A lot of times it's better just to, right? Sometimes you just have to close your mouth, just, Sometimes you have to sit with yourself and do a little quick battle within yourself, right? Sometimes I have to tell myself, Le'Von, you're not gonna respond to that, right? You're not gonna respond. It's not worth it. Because maybe in the moment, that response feels good. Maybe your adrenaline is pumping and you feel like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But after that, what have you done? Nothing. You've lost pieces or a piece of your peace. And peace is so sacred that you should not allow anyone to take any pieces of your peace. You really shouldn't. No one should have control over your emotions or forcing you to respond. So I'll close with peace is a decision. We don't have to battle. We don't have to fight. We don't have to respond. A lot of times it's better to just tell yourself, just be quiet and walk away. Preserve your peace because it's that important. So y'all, again, happy first day of Ramadan. I hope everyone is successful. Thank you for watching. Peace, blessings, love, and light. And inshallah, God willing, I will be back tomorrow. And hopefully, I'm not making any promises. I'm saying hopefully. And hopefully every day of Ramadan with just a quick little video. I don't know what every video is gonna be about. I haven't written it out. I'm just kind of going with the flow. So we will see how this works out. So y'all have a great evening. For the Muslims that are fasting, I hope you have a wonderful iftar. Iftar, for anyone who doesn't know, is the meal that we take to break fast. For anyone that's not fasting, maybe you have things going on in your body. If you're a woman, maybe you're a mother, maybe you're breastfeeding, things of that nature. Just remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your heart, knows your spirit, and knows your intentions, right? And there are other things that you can do if you are not able to fast right now. And for all of my non-Muslim friends and family and supporters, thank you so much for all of your support during Ramadan, not just for myself, but for Muslims worldwide, because this is a very important time for us. So peace, blessings, love, and light to everyone. God be with you. Bye.